What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Janelle, and if you're new here, I am your guide to solo travel. In today's video, I'm taking you to the second destination in one of my favorite countries in Central America, Costa Rica. We are going to San Jose. This is not San Jose, Cali. You heard me say Costa Rica. Let's hop right into it. Here are a few tips for your arrival to San Jose. You're going to be flying into SJO International Airport, which is Juan Santa Maria. You want to make sure that you are not flying to California. If you make that mistake, you will end up in the wrong San Jose. So please pay attention when you are booking your plane ticket. When I flew to Costa Rica, it was with American Airlines. This was when the airlines allowed you to fly with a carry-on suitcase that fit the dimensions. You could take a suitcase on the plane. I believe now the airlines are charging extra for you to check a suitcase if you were planning to carry it on. I had the basic economy ticket, so back then I was able to, travel with my suitcase for no extra charge. I consider myself to be a minimalist packer. I like to just go with the backpack. Knowing that Costa Rica is a very rainy place, if you're going during rainy season, you might want to check the weather advisory. It could rain every day of your entire trip. You want to bring an umbrella, maybe wear some moisture wicking clothes or just something because you're going to be wet the majority of the time. You can check to see the months that it is going to be the rainiest, but I would just plan for rainy weather in Costa Rica. Also, airports are freezing cold. You see me here, I have on a sweatshirt. I know in Costa Rica it's going to be hot and humid, but in those airports, I like to bundle up. I don't want to get sick because I'm just freezing at SJO or any airport that's in the US flying out to Costa Rica. So you could wear a jacket. If you wanted to carry that around, you could always put it into your suitcase because you have everything with you. That's one advantage of team carry-on, and you can just switch out clothes as needed. I would also recommend that you bring your own mosquito repellent and sunscreen. If you're going to buy it in Costa Rica directly, it is going to cost more. I am going to say that Costa Rica is one of the most expensive countries that I've visited in Central America. Try to save your coins by bringing your own sunscreen and repellent. If you could even try to buy the ones that are TSA approved. I think it's 3 ounces or below, and you can put them into the travel size. Now for repellent, that's the spray, so maybe you could just get a miniature one of those. I want to give a shout out to my beautiful mother who celebrated her 70th birthday last week. Thank you for supporting the channel. I want to say Mama Jet Setter. She doesn't fly like that, y'all. But she does appreciate all of your kind words and congratulations on the socials. How many of you are still wearing masks while traveling throughout airports, while you're on the airplane, even in the cities, the locations where you are traveling? Anybody? Anybody? Let me know below in the comments if you are one of the few who are still wearing masks. With these viral outbreaks spreading around, you guys, I'm going to recommend that you wear a mask. You see me here, I didn't really have a high quality one on. This is like the cloth version. It's like, okay, yeah, really, what is this doing? But it does cover my nose and mouth. At times for pictures, I just like to bring it down because I gotta get this content. I'm gonna get some B-roll for y'all. I know it is up to the individual. FAA has not required passengers to wear masks anymore. All right, this is post-COVID. Right now, we know that Mpox is spreading around. There are viral outbreaks that can affect you and others. Airports and airplanes are very high risk for you to get germs. Even if you're not sick, you could catch it from someone else because you're breathing in those particles, yeah? I think from me living in China, I was accustomed to just always having a mask on. Sometimes it is easier for me to breathe because, I wear glasses, and if I'm breathing through the mask, it fogs up my glasses and then I cannot see. I still choose to wear a mask, especially at airports and while I'm on the airplane. Sometimes people are coughing, they're sneezing, they're not washing their hands. You can look at cdc.gov. They're going to tell you more information about this, but you are going to see that I had a mask on throughout my trip to Costa Rica. I think this was during the Panini. I was traveling a lot at that time. This is not only to protect yourself, but you want to think of others. When you are returning home, the people that you are interacting with, working with, that you see on a regular, you don't want to come home and bring them some disease because you weren't helping to lower the risk of transmission. Travel advisories, Costa Rica is a level 2. This means exercise increased caution. For me, I think a 2 is good. I've told you before, I've traveled to countries with 3 and 4. A 2 is not bad when it comes to travel state gov. Let's quickly go into the entry requirements for Costa Rica. You're going to need a passport. You want to make sure that your passport is valid. You can always check the expiration dates. In my previous video, I was talking about how your passport needs to be damage free. There doesn't need to be any bending of pages or have your book messed up. I've read that in Costa Rica, the customs might deny your entry if your passport is damaged. Okay, I recommend that you have a passport case, something where it is keeping it together so that this doesn't happen to you, because I would be very disappointed when I pull up to Costa Rica and they're like, your passport is messed up, you ain't going nowhere. Also, they want to see proof of funds. When I went, this was not a requirement. You do know that countries will change the entry requirements, so you want to always do your research and see what the basics are. Of course, you're going to need a passport. If you're staying up to 90 days, you are going to need a visa. Make sure that you have proof of funds and that your passport book is in good condition. Stay updated with the weather alerts. In Costa Rica, it can rain daily. Ladies, think about your hair. If you're bringing wigs, maybe you want to be in braids, get you a nice braid down, even do some crochets. That's all I had on this trip because I already knew and brought my umbrella. I got rained on a few times there. We're in the jungle. It rains. When you get to San Jose, you're going to want to exchange a little bit of your US dollars to the Costa Rican colones, and then you can do the rest of it when you get to the city center. The rates at the currency exchange at the airport are typically high. They know it's going to be a demand for tourists who are arriving and that they can charge these excessive rates. If you wait a little bit and get to the city center, you can go to the local banks and exchange your money there. The rates are going to be favorable. All you need to do is go to the local bank, stand in line, and then when you get to the desk, you can exchange your money there. You will get your Costa Rican colones and you'll be good to go. You know how banks are. There's going to be security there. There's police presence. The staff is going to be able to help you. You're not going to get scammed or given fake notes or anything like that. It is legit. It's a bank. As I mentioned, Costa Rica is very expensive. You can save money by looking to stay in hostels. Hostels offer pools. Some of them have bars. They have breakfast available for purchase. And of course, they have dorms and the private rooms. Where I stayed at was Nativist Art Hostel. This is a bright, colorful hostel. It offers dorms and private rooms. I actually stayed in a private room and then I switched to the dorm, so I was able to experience them both. This was during a quiet time of the year. I don't know if it was low season, but it wasn't fully booked. One night I had the entire dorm room to myself, which is good because you paid a cheaper rate and you have all that space to yourself. You still are in the tiny beds though. And the other night I had the private room. Of course, the private room comes with your own bathroom, so that's very nice. Both rooms were clean. Downstairs you could get the breakfast. I believe they had an American and European breakfast, which was also nice. It was located in the city center, which makes it easy for you to reach the local attractions. One thing I forgot is how to get to the city center from the airport. You can take taxis or Ubers, or you can arrange for your hostel to get an airport transfer. I don't believe that I did this, but Nativist Art Hostel does offer this. If you look up Hostel World, there are a couple of other hostels that you could look into. There is the Chill Out Hostel. There is the Stray Cat. Selena is there. I really haven't stayed in any of the Selena brands. I know there's some in Mexico too. I was advised, if you look at my other Costa Rica video, to stay away from Selena, but other travelers have had good reviews, so it's up to you to decide which hostel to stay in. Hostels are a great way for you to meet fellow travelers. One lady, I had met her because I was downstairs at the breakfast, and then the other lady, the one from Germany, she was in my room. And I decided to be social that day. We all decided to eat together. And so we left the hostel and went to a falafel joint. And it was really just nice to, talk to the ladies, hear their stories, see what their itineraries were, how they enjoyed San Jose. And I would not have met them if I hadn't been at the hostel. A lot of travelers skip over San Jose. They just fly in and then they go, I don't want to say the nicer parts of Costa Rica, but San Jose, it's a bit more, it's a bit more rough around the edges. It's a major city. What do you expect? I also was able to tour the Grand Hotel. I did not stay there. I told you guys I was at the hostel, but this is right in the city center. It's across from the National Theater. It is going to be pricey, about a couple hundred a night, I believe. I did not get to tour the rooms, but one of the staff that was there, he just showed me around. So that's what you're seeing here of the Grand Hotel. If you're willing to pay for this accommodation, you can look into it. When it comes to activities, here are a few must-visit spots for San Jose. You have the Paseo de los Museos. These are going to be the major museums that San Jose has to offer. The Paseo de los Museos, it connects all of the, well, not all of the museums, but at least 3 of them in a route where you could knock them one right after the other. One to look at is going to be the National Museum of Costa Rica. It's the major yellow building. It's located in the fortress, and this is a popular tourist site. You also have the Museo of Costa Rican Art. This is located in a former airport terminal. I think that is kind of cool. If you are an art lover, you definitely want to check this out. They also have the Jade Museum. This is where I was able to visit. It is home to the world's largest collection of American jade. I really enjoyed this museum. I wish I had time to go to the other museums, but I went on every floor. I wanted to read and learn about the jade. I really like that gem. You also have street art. All right. When I was walking around by the university, I saw, I think it was Calle 17, Calle 17, where they had all of these nice murals. I took a lot of pictures there. There are a lot of colorful murals throughout the city as well. You can go to Barrio Escalante if you are into street art. Another thing to do would be to check out the Mercado Central. This is where you're going to go if you want to get local Costa Rican food. You can get souvenirs. I was able to get a nice, it's like a dress and it just had Costa Rica stitched onto it. I thought that was very pretty, very authentic. You can do your negotiating. You can buy anything. You know how a market is. It's huge. There is a mall. All right. I went to the Multiplaza Mall. Here I was racially profiled at Zara, traveling while Black. As any other customer, you walk into Zara and you see them with the little clicking thing. You know how it is when you're being followed. So I kind of looked behind my head. She's following me, this lady who I decided to record and put on YouTube. So I was browsing through the clothes because they have the sale, and it's towards the sale items are towards the back, and then you have the more expensive items closer to the entrance. So I had started out just seeing what they had in stock because I like Zara. It's my favorite store from studying in Spain. So I was like, okay, let me just check out, see what they have in Costa Rica. Boy, this employee was on my heels. You shouldn't be doing this. But I was like, lady, chill out. Like, stop assuming that Black people are trying to steal. I didn't even buy anything. I like Zara in every country that I go to. If I can get to a mall, I'm going to check it out. I decided to do the same thing that she was doing to me. She got a little antsy or whatever and then separated away. But I knew that her eyes were on me the entire time. As a Black woman, a Black traveler, this happens. I get used to it. I made sure to press record. If you have any experiences of being racially profiled while you were shopping, did you decide to stay in the store or did you just walk out? Did you take a photo of them profiling you? They have the SJO, the San Jose Live Signs. These are throughout the city. This can be an issue if you are traveling solo because if you don't have a tripod, who's going to take your photo? So you're trying to scan the scene, make sure that you find someone who can take your photos while you also have an eye on your belongings. So you want to keep an eye out on your things because I had to put my bags down. I think I had a jacket and then I'm trying to pose in front of these signs. You see me here, I was running around. It was hot. I'm sweating. Like, these pictures aren't the best. Thankfully, I found a family who was generous to take my photos and I was very specific. I was like, here is me. I'm going to take these photos and you just tap, 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 tap. I was doing too much. Or if you want to get a tripod, that could be better too, but then you're going to have more attention on you while you're setting those up. I think I have the camera confidence at this point. I don't really care that people are watching. I'm just more mindful of if they are looking at my belongings on the ground. I know in the city center, they would always have food and they're throwing it out at the pigeons. And so all of them would flock towards the sign. So that could be kind of alarming if you aren't into those pigeons. I'm fine if it's like one or two, but if it's flocks coming at you while you're trying to take a photo, I'm like, it's time to roll out. I don't like all that. And I wasn't feeding them either. All right, I already mentioned the Grand Hotel. You can try to see a show at the National Theater, and there is Park La Sabana. I always like to surround myself around nature. It is very calming and it's relaxing. In the Costa Rican climate, the gardens are going to be lush, green, and beautiful. You see, I have on this green dress because I'm thinking of Costa Rica green, Costa Rica verde. In fact, when I was in La Fortuna, I saw a lizard, like it was literally this color. It was brighter than this probably. I would say that getting around San Jose is easy. As I mentioned before, you can use the taxis or the Ubers. Some of the locals are going to recommend that you use the Ubers over the taxis. It's just easier and it can be safer. When you are booking the Uber, once you have it confirmed and you see the plate, you want to make sure that that matches the driver when you go to their car. And how you can do this, you can obviously have your phone out, you're looking at the plates, match it, or you can just say their name. Of course, you're not going to have that Spanish accent. They might be looking for you. Sometimes they don't say Janelle correctly. So they'll be like, Jane, Jan. And so I'll just make sure that it's matching there. For me, it didn't really matter. I could do taxi or Uber because I can get by with enough Spanish where it's not going to make a difference. But you want to make sure that you're getting into the right vehicle. From your hostel or hotel, have them order a taxi for you. Usually they are going to be able to get the well-known drivers that are in the vicinity of the hotel or hostel. You might have to wait a bit longer, or if you are needing to be somewhere by a certain time, you can call ahead or have them call like an hour out. I think I did this when I was trying to go to the airport on my way out. Make sure that you get the driver's name before getting in the vehicle. You also can walk around, especially for downtown. I do know that this is a large city, so you want to be mindful of the safety. In the daytime, I don't think it's going to be a problem. You are going to be around the main attractions. If you're doing the museum walk, you have all of those museums for you to walk to. Of course, I walked around the market, the mall. Walking on foot is going to be a great way for you to get around. They also have the intercity buses. If you go to the San Jose Tracopa terminal, this is going to be your starting point to go to other places in Costa Rica. As I said, most people just use San Jose as transit so they can go to the nicer parts of the country, all right? This is where you can go to see the national parks, the beaches, they have volcanoes, and you can do this by taking a bus. If you're not ready to venture out that far, you know Costa Rica has the East Coast and the West Coast. It did take me about, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours to get to those parts. There is a day trip where you can go to see the Poás volcano. They also have Paco. This is a Passport Bro site. You're going to see a lot of older men with, the young ticas. Look, I'm just giving you the scoop. Those are some quick places that you can get from San Jose. San Jose does not have the hot springs or, the beaches and nature that you're looking for. This is why a lot of people, they just fly into San Jose, they get into SJO, and then they venture out. If this is your first time leaving the US, you can try to just explore San Jose for a couple days, but I am going to recommend that you go further out to explore the national parks. If you want more information, go ahead and look at my video here. This is when I went to La Fortuna in my experience. If you are a vegan or vegetarian, know that San Jose has a lot of options for you. At the hostel, I was able to have fruit, there was tea, eggs, they offered toast. You do have these sodas. These are the mom and pop shops where you can get traditional Costa Rican food. I went to Gloriana's. I ate a lot of pinto gallo at the Central Market. There is the Suspita Oriental vegetarian restaurant. I know on the outside it looks a little run down, but if you go inside, you're going to be able to get Oriental food that is vegetarian and it's healthy. Speaking of Asian food, I went to a good Thai spot. I believe this was pad Thai. Usually with Thai food, I'm going to get one or two things, pad Thai or drunken noodles. Those are my best dishes. La Esquina Vegana, I really enjoyed this place. Not only is it a restaurant, but it's also a veggie food store. I saw that they have soy curls. In the United States, I call this the ABC store, the Adventist Book Center, where you can get the overpriced high in sodium veggie food, veggie meat, but you could get the soy curls, other veggie meat that you can cook with to take back to your hostel if you don't want to just eat out of restaurants. And they had this at La Esquina Vegana. On the menu, you can get wraps, there's salads, there's smoothies. Here I had some kind of nacho fries dish with vegan cheese. It wasn't the best. I don't really like vegan cheese. I am going to say that Costa Rican food is not spicy. So none of these places, these restaurants that I listed, have heat. I like heat on my food. So I ended up going to the Indian Palace, which was at the mall. I had samosas there. They had some sort of soup because I like spicy. Y'all know Indian food is my favorite. The falafel place had really well seasoned food. This was the Nana Falafel juice bowl. And there I had the falafel plate. It was tasty and delicious. Each trip is going to be what you make it. Even though you might not venture out to the other parts of Costa Rica that have the beaches, the hot springs, the national parks, there are still things for you to do and enjoy in San Jose. Costa Rica is a great location for first-time solo travelers, for your first time if you are leaving the United States. If you're interested in other destinations, go ahead and click here. I have plenty of guides for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about San Jose, La Fortuna, or Costa Rica, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. Thanks again, and I'm going to see you next time.